I don't really know what's making me think of this. Well, I saw something on TikTok like it made me get all like kind of like emotional. It was like this person's like, like, oh, I love myself so much. Like I started reading books and shit. I started breaking old habits and shit, and like blah 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 blah. And like it just kind of made me think about how, unfortunately, and I'm also a victim to this, but like um, kind of how stuff that isn't that good for you gets glorified. And I'm not hating on that at all, because like everything's like kind of like a lifestyle, and like I'm not hating on that. But like in terms of like, you know, things that look cool and actually are cool, like it looks cool to smoke cigarettes, you know, but then you're sitting alone at night and you're like, I should probably stop smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? It looks cool to go out to like a party, then you're at the party and you're like, I don't really want to be here. These people don't really like me, or whatever. And I am, like, how do I say this without being like preachy and annoying? Like, I was talking to this cool girl, and she was like, it's cool that like, it was like cute that like, you would like smoke cigarettes. You always smell like cigarettes. It was like, you're like doing your thing, but like now that like, I know you, like it's cool that you don't do that. And I feel like that's like kind of applies to so much in life, where so many things are cool surface level, but then you ignore the things that are actually good for you. And that kind of would go to like, I would kind of, it's like you kind of get in the zone. Like I would like my like zone when I wasn't really like on my shit like I am these days, because um before I was like kind of on top of my shit. My zone would be like, I'm gonna go home and like, I'm gonna spark up and then like smoke some cigarettes, listen to music, and just like chill and like, think about my life. And it was kind of also this like woe is me type thing, where it's like, oh, like I'm doing all these things that are hurting me, but like, I'm still, pushing away, grind set, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm living, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. I gotta deal with stress and blah blah blah. And all those things get so glorified, and I did them, and everybody does them. Uh, everybody does them. And you know what's really cool and really hard to do? Uh, is like the hard shit that you don't want to do. And for me, that's like, you know, start reading more, you know, call your mom more, eat healthier, stop eating bullshit. Try and upgrade your financial situation. Do better in your life right now. And that doesn't really get glorified. And I kind of feel like it's turning into like a preachy video. But I don't want it to be that. And I don't want it to be a fucking every vice is bad video. I don't want it to be anything. I just want to communicate and say that, what's actually cool is doing things that are right in your face, that's really, really hard to do, and just doing it. That is actually cool. No longer. And I think this is also like being removed from being very like in the scene, in the lifestyle and things like that, where like a lot of things look cool on the surface, but there is no depth and no longevity in them. And like, what does it all boil down to is like, who can you help by doing something, by doing these things? And, who was I able to help, smacked watching anime in my room. You know what I mean? Who am I able to help now that I'm in a little bit better financial position now? Who I am more positioned to help more people now that I have been reading more and can offer people more guidance and things like that. I'm also able to help more people who are my age who don't really know what they're doing with their life. I'm able to help, like, you know, and again, like, I'm not trying to preach, dude. Maybe I am, though. Maybe I am. But I'm not trying to. I just feel passionate about it. It's like, bro, I would think cigarettes are so fucking cool. Like, look at me. I'm like the dude smoking a cigarette and I don't give a fuck. And it's like, I'm not hating on that, but like, I know that I wasn't actually doing the hard thing in my life. You know what I mean? Like, it looks cool, but like, the hardest thing for you to do right now that would be really cool if you did something hard because that would mean you're strong is if you didn't smoke those. And if you did address these certain things in your life and fix them and make them better, you know what I mean? That would actually be hard. That would be hard to accomplish and therefore make you cool because you could accomplish something that's hard. So therefore you're stronger than that. But instead, you partake in activities or lifestyle or anything that like are harmful to your health or it's help to your health or just like distractions that might have this kind of like emo-y connotation where like that's just what I do and that's how I feel right now, which is like fine because like everyone goes there and I go there too, but like I was avoiding telling myself and like again I don't hate this version of myself, but I was avoiding telling myself that hey, just so you know, it would be cooler if you did the shit that's staring you in the face instead of doing all this other stuff to try and ignore the real shit. And I just like, this is kind of an internal dialogue I have with myself because, like, in terms of comfort zone, what is really hard for you to do? And not saying I'm this like comfort zone, adrenaline junkie, crazy person, because I'm not. I'm really, really lazy. But this is how I try and help myself is like, how can I do something that, like, what in my life sounds like it's going to suck to do? That's a pretty good starting point to figure out what you should be doing right now. What would suck the most if I did that would lead to a better outcome? You know? What would suck the most? And I'm thinking about, as I said, Carrington, what would suck the most right now for your life? Just to keep you accountable on YouTube. What would suck? What's staring at me in the face? That would suck. It suck. Wow.